Good afternoon to you. Mark Sudduth, HurricaneTrack.com, here with your hurricane outlook and discussion for August 28th, 2015. Happy Friday to you. Lots to talk about here in the tropics today, not only in the Atlantic, but in the Pacific. Right now on the minds of everybody, very pesky and annoying tropical storm Erika. You can see the little symbol there from the 11 o'clock advisory. Click on that, and we can go to the maps here, show you what you probably already know. But I'll just review it just to, get you caught up to date. Forecast cone of uncertainty aimed through the greater Antilles and then eventually into Florida right along and up into the peninsula. Now, the latest advisory, that was from 11 o'clock this morning, indicated that Erika was moving west-northwest at 18 miles per hour. And if it's going to make this forecast point right here, that's going to have to move more northwest. So I don't think it's going to do that. And it's probably not even going to matter. I believe that by 11 o'clock tonight, all of this will be dropped, and we're going to see the words, "This is the last advisory unless regeneration occurs," show up somewhere in the advisory package. It's just about time for Erika to be killed off. I mean, there's not much more to say. Tangling here with Hispaniola, and the organization of it is just terrible. Strong upper level winds coming across here, which I'll show you in a minute. This is the close-up visible satellite, and you can see the large rotation envelope, if you will, coming right into Hispaniola here. You've got some of this outflow boundary coming out, which are thunderstorms that are collapsing, cold air rushing out ahead, energy being expended out like this instead of being drawn in. The divergence at the surface, if you will, instead of convergence. There's a little bit of convergence in here where the air is coming together. That's what that means. And then it's trying to rise up. The outflow is choked off. And it's going to go over some very high terrain. I mean, what else do you want? I think this is the end. I really do. If anything were to survive, for what it's worth, the different computer models, been looking at these over the last several days, practically worthless. Because it was supposed to be that this came up kind of like this, maybe into Florida, and it has been south of the track all along. And we've been up watching this late, and that's resulted in me getting this nice cold, probably. Lack of sleep doesn't help. But for what it's worth here, if it comes over and survives the trek over land, then it should come through the Florida Straits and maybe, good clustering of the models, bring it into the peninsula of Florida. Now, curiously enough, I'm trying to find anything that I can hang my hat on and believe. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't believe this at all, the GFDL and its interpolated models. If we go back to the track forecast, there's the GFDL coming way up here and bringing it into my neck of the woods. My office is located here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and that's just not going to happen, okay? And so you can also discount the intensity part of the GFDL as well. But what is interesting to me, ever so slightly, is the SHIPS forecast, the statistical hurricane intensity prediction, and that's this green line here. Excuse me, sorry about the clearing of the throat every few seconds. A necessary evil when you have a cold. But the SHIPS forecast, isn't flat, it's not down, it's kind of, increasing there just a little bit, and in fact, right up into Category 1 hurricane strength. Now, this is a statistical hurricane prediction model. It's pretty good overall. It's reliable. And you notice it's also in the middle of the envelope. You have several models that are like, yeah, it's going to stay the same. And then, I think this is the intensity consensus, if I'm not mistaken. And then some of them weaken it down to depression strength. So we'll see. I mean, the SHIPS takes into account sea surface temperature, different factors in the environment, wind shear, interaction with land, and there you go. Assuming this stays over water enough, maybe it tries to intensify, but I doubt it. I'm going to be honest with you. What does it have in its favor? Well, it certainly has plenty of warm water. This is the Gulf of Mexico. Turn my phone off here so it doesn't keep doing that. Plenty of warm water over the Gulf of Mexico for it to tap into, and not only warm at the surface, but high ocean heat content here in the southeast Gulf. In fact, some of the highest anywhere in the world, believe it or not. So that's definitely a plus if there's anything left. The actual sea surface temperatures are just ridiculous. If you went and stuck your toe in the water, we're talking about 90 degrees at the surface or higher across this area along the west coast of Florida. And then, of course, down here in the northern Caribbean Sea. So if Erika were to come along on a track kind of like this, it's going to have some very warm water to work with. And if it stays kind of small, I'm just playing if here, okay? We don't want to leave anything out, and people are like, oh man, nobody told us that could happen. I mean, there's enough warm water here that if it even has 12 hours, 18 hours of relaxing shear, it could ramp up very quickly. And even though there's not very much upper ocean heat content close to the shelf water here, this is not a large hurricane coming in churning everything up. It has a shot, okay? And maybe that's part of what the ship's intensity is seeing. Of course, it's probably got it. I didn't check what track they ran the ship's model on. Probably has it going over land. Who knows? So we'll watch and see what happens with that. Plenty of, excuse me, energy available. But this really tells the story. Erika located in here. Strong winds coming over the top. Strong winds out ahead of it. A little bit lighter here in the Florida Straits, but then just ridiculous amounts of shear, 30 to 40 knots or higher. And, this can change over the next few days through here, but I doubt it. It's like it's been supposed to change for a while, and it really hasn't. The lighter shear certainly sitting over here, but Erika never made it into this region off the east coast of Florida to take advantage of that. So we're going to have to just wait and see, folks. I'm going to show you this one more time. Whatever is left, once it gets up into here, then we'll see what happens from there. It's a vigorous enough circulation, maybe, okay? But I have my doubts. I really do. I think it's going to be a remnant low, and we'll see what happens from there. Enough of that. In the Pacific, we have Hurricane Ignacio. For the most part, probably not going to affect Hawaii directly, but some of these beaches here on the east and southeast side could get some pretty high waves coming in from this hurricane. You're in the cone of uncertainty, most of the island chain, so be ready in case this shifts south. We know that can happen, but Ignacio is a well-developed hurricane, basically performing like it is supposed to, unlike the headache we've seen with Erika. Farther to the east of Ignacio, we have Hurricane Hamina, and this is far enough to the east of Hawaii. Hawaii sits over at around 20 degrees north latitude, which is up here, and roughly 155 west longitude, which would be like over here somewhere off the map. So Hamina has a good distance to go, more than a week, for it to ever even reach the longitude of Hawaii. So probably not much to worry about there. And if there is, way out into the future, on into early September. So we'll see what happens with Erika. I believe we're going to see those words, this is the last advisory unless regeneration occurs, either at 5 p.m., but more than likely at 11 p.m. tonight, and then we'll see what happens over the weekend. Okay? Okay, well, I'll keep posting to the blog over the next few days and do these video blogs, of course, to analyze it further, and we'll see if there's anything to analyze come tomorrow at that point. All right, have a good rest of your Friday. Thanks for joining me. I am Mark Sudduth. My cold and all. Hopefully that'll go away over the weekend, too. Have a good rest of your afternoon for HurricaneTrack.com, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.